I don't usually do readings, but there wasn't much out there, and this poem is an exception, and it's exceptional, so I thought I would put one out there. Brief background on the poet. His name is obviously quite striking, Tatamkhulu Afrika. This was a pseudonym that he took on, or a struggle name, right, when he was involved as an activist against apartheid. So he was the type of guy who lived about 10 lives just crammed into one. There was a brilliant article, which I'll put a link to in the description, written by Gus Ferguson, and I just wanted to quote him on Tatamkhulu Afrika. He said that his life was a fugue of intertwining identities. Among other things, he was, in chronological sequence, a novelist, a soldier, a prisoner of war, a miner, a political activist, a poet, and again, towards the end of his life, he was a novelist. So, some of the things there, he was born in North Africa. He had an Arab father and a Turkish mother. That's that intertwined identity. The guy fought in World War II. He served as a POW, a prisoner of war, right? Well, not served, but he was a prisoner of war. He came back to South Africa. He reconverted to Islam. He moved to Cape Town, and you feel Cape Town in this poem. And he was arrested for his activism against apartheid. So an incredible life. If you are interested, go read the brilliantly written tribute by Gus Ferguson in the link. Let's go to the reading. Trespasser, Tatamkhulu Afrika. I wheel my bike under the cathedral's dark overhang. Seized by a rictus of wind, the trees shed rain. Rain slides down Whale Street's sleek, steep fall. Air is an ocean booming round high, bare walls. My hands freeze on the bike's crossbar, seek the sodden saddle, toy with the ice-cold bell. I am suddenly fugitive, homeless and cornered, in a caprice of pressure and cloud. Then they cough, and I know, I am not alone. Far back against the great nailed doors they huddle, troglodytes of night's alcoves, daytime's shopping malls, parking lots, sparse green lawns, municipal benches where lunchtime city workers stripping down their food packs sit in sober rows. I fear to turn around, stiffen in expectation of the inevitable tugging at my sleeve. Wonder if I have any coins, wonder why they do not bicker, as they always do, cursing their mothers' wombs in tired robots' tones. Why only this curious, chuckling liquid sound drawing me around? She has the usual wrappings on stick-thin brittle shins, patchy purple, quietly rotting methylated spirit skin. Dookie of incongruous elegance crown the scabrous half-bald skull. Her man, grotesque as a gargoyle roused from stone, cradles an infant in his lap, feeds it from a bottle with a teat, makes the chuckling crooning sounds that turned me round, that hold me now spellbound. Good morning, sir, he says, and his voice is grave as a paterfamilias in his lounge. Only the odd man out, leaning against the harsh grey walls, looks at me with carefully indifferent eyes, finding me alien on his home ground, wishing the clouds would break and I be gone, ringing my bike's absurd, small bell. Reaction? Goosebumps. I believe this is a truly great poem, hence this reading. This should be a more widely shared poem. Part of the deep impact for me is that I suspect this poem is deeply personal. If you go to that reading that I attached below, you'll see that the poet lived in an area called Bo Kaap in Cape Town in a wooden hut in someone's backyard. This is right near Whale Street, which is referenced in the poem. So I take it that this poem and the poet is actually expressing his honest, most raw thoughts and reactions. This is likely to be his experience. And he's confronting the things about himself that he most despises. He's challenging us to also introspect, to look at our own thoughts, to face up to any ugliness that can reside there, and ask ourselves, where do these ideas and reactions come from? I think that only someone of great humility and courage can present themselves this honestly in a poem like this. And some might see this as being part of a confessional genre. They could see this as a display of progressive self-flagellation. How dare you be this honest with yourself? Publicly. Ick! I think, given the poet's background and the fact that the speaker in this poem doesn't actually end up directly confronting his shame, he actually wants to escape from it. This sounds a very deep, important, very South African truth. A truth about inequality, poverty, and its psychic effects on everyone, no matter how prosperous. So I feel like I'm stepping above my qualification level. Jump into the comments if you see things differently. But I think there's a greatness and a relevance. This is a powerful poem.